So it is once again Friday, and you know what that means. It means another episode of The Bad Batch, or should I say Clone Wars Season 8. And this episode definitely felt like the most like Clone Wars Season 8 rather than The Bad Batch. So I'm going to talk about it right now. So yeah, let's go. So, as I said, I think this episode feels the most like Clone Wars Season 8 as opposed to The Bad Batch, because this is probably the episode we've seen the least of The Bad Batch in. I can't really think of another episode that's even like a good comparison that has a similar level of no Bad Batch in it, which I don't actually mind, to be honest, because what I'll speak about later, I think this sets up next episode very, very well, which I think will like feature the Bad Batch heavily once again. Now, what we did get in this episode was some very, very nice cameos from two of my favourite characters in Star Wars, as I'm a big fan of Star Wars Rebels, being Hera Syndulla and Chopper, and then obviously Cham Syndulla and Hera's mum, who I forget the name of, was seen in this as well, as this episode was about Ryloth and the Imperial like presence on Ryloth. Now, a lot of people are wondering why Hera sounds very, very different, and I believe that it's still the same voice actor from Rebels. I haven't actually checked, but I think that although there was the accent there, I think they sounded the same, and we did get the same voice actor of Kanan in episode 1, so I do think it's the same, but she sounds more Twi'lek and Ryloth-ish, I don't know if that's the right word. She has more of the French accent like Aayla Secura has in the Clone Wars, rather than what she actually sounds like in Rebels, and that is obviously because she is yet to leave Ryloth, so she is still like hearing everyone that speaks like a normal person from Ryloth, which is that kind of French accent. And obviously when in Rebels she has joined the rebellion and she's left Ryloth for a long time, she speaks less like a normal Twi'lek and more like a normal person. However, that is out of choice rather than accent development, as we know in the episode where she's reunited with her dad. She does like have an angry moment where she speaks in her strong accent, but she still uses her accent in her normal like dialogue because she has no reason not to, so that is why she sounds a little bit different. Now, the clone trooper that I forgot the name of was fantastic in this episode. I think it's very, very clear to see that his inhibitor chip isn't working properly, and you know what? I think it's quite likely if when the Bad Batch turn up to Ryloth next episode, he could potentially leave Ryloth with them and join the crew. Maybe not become a member of Clone Force 99, but at least like travel with them for a brief period of time. I think that could be the spark that sets Echo off to join the rebellion, and he joins the rebellion with this clone trooper, because that is what I imagine he would want to like be doing when he escapes Ryloth. I think if he goes off with the Bad Batch, he's going to ask them to drop into Saw Gerrera or something along those lines, and Echo is going to go with him. I think that would be very, very good to see, and I think that's the perfect catalyst for the separation of the group. So as I mentioned, I think the Bad Batch are going to feature heavily in next episode, and that's because I believe this episode is called the something on Ryloth. I'll have to check it, but we know that the next episode is about Ryloth again, and why would they have two episodes about Ryloth if neither of them feature the Bad Batch at all, because that is basically just a Clone Wars arc then. So I think the Bad Batch are going to help out Cham Syndulla, Hera Syndulla, Hera's mum, etc, etc on Ryloth, and they're going to take that clone trooper with them, as he clearly isn't too pleased with what the Empire are doing. He actually has a personality, showing his chip hasn't fully worked, and yeah, I think he's going to go with them. Now, in terms of what I actually thought of the episode, average, to be honest. I think the lack of the Bad Batch themselves actually took a toll on this episode. I think it was very average in comparison to the other 10 episodes we've got. It was nowhere near the level of the Cad Bane episodes. It was nowhere near the level of episode 1. However, it was probably better than like episode 2 and 3. I'd put it on the same level as the Muchi episode and the Martez Sisters episode, around there, so pretty average in comparison to what we've got for the rest of this. However, that doesn't mean that I disliked it at all. I was actually quite a fan of not seeing the Bad Batch throughout the whole of the episode. I'm actually glad that they're not going to make this whole series just about the Bad Batch and the Bad Batch only. I'm glad we're seeing what other people are doing, and I'm glad they're taking the risk of showing an episode of something to set up the next episode to then heavily include the Bad Batch, which is exactly what I think this episode has done. Like I've said, I think it set up the next episode beautifully, and I genuinely think the next episode is going to be a 10 out of 10 because they spent a whole episode just to set it up, and there is no reason why they would do that if it's not going to be incredible. They've sacrificed an episode to make the next one even better. Now, I say sacrifice like this one was absolutely terrible. That's far from the truth, but, you know, they could have made this one much better is what I'm saying, but then next episode wouldn't have had much, like, leading up to it, so it wouldn't have been as good, is what I'm trying to say. However, that is only an opinion. I would love to have your guys' opinions on this and like what you thought of the episode, what your guys' predictions are. But if I am just going to speak about the Bad Batch episode 11 really quickly, then what I do want to say is that my predictions for next episode is that the Bad Batch arrives on Ryloth to help Cham Syndulla, Hera Syndulla, etc, etc. I think they're going to show up because Hera is going to contact Omega as they formed a little bit of a friendship. I think that's definitely going to happen, and with the combined like efforts of the Bad Batch themselves, Chopper and Hera, they're going to rescue Cham Syndulla, Hera's mum, etc, etc, and they are obviously going to escape, in my opinion, and with that clone trooper, and then from there, that clone and Echo are going to join the rebellion, and that is where the Bad Batch is really going to progress as a series from there, because there's like the conflict within the group. We've obviously seen Echo not too happy with some of Hunter's decisions, and I think that could cause a big stir within the group because, you know, they've never had anyone walk out on them before. They've only had people willingly join the Bad Batch, being Echo, and it just, well, actually no, Crosshair left, but that wasn't willingly. But yeah, they've only had people willingly join, never leave. So if someone left, that would have everyone in the group question what they're actually doing. It would have Hunter question himself, and ultimately I think it would lead to a big decision from Hunter, and I'm not sure what his decision would be of the question, whether they want to keep doing what they're doing or if they want to join the rebellion. I don't know what will happen from there, but that is what I think will happen next episode. Hera will reach out to Omega, the Bad Batch will come to help, they will escape and bring that clone trooper with an inactive inhibitor chip with them, and then him and Echo will leave to join the rebellion. So, if you like that prediction, let me know in the comments, because, you know, I want to have predictions that people like. So if you do like it, let me know. That would be much appreciated. And yeah, let me know what you thought about this episode of The Bad Batch. Let me know what you thought about this video. I know it's only a quick one. I do have a couple that I'm working on to make them like really good. But like I said, while I can, I'm going to do ones where I can just sit here and talk to you guys, because I enjoy it, and then get your feedback on what I'm saying. So yeah, thank you for watching, and please leave a like. Thank you so much for 7.5k subs. I asked for 7.5k by Friday, being today, last week, and we hit 7.5k early yesterday, so I'm gonna ask for 8k by the next Bad Batch episode, because you've proven that you can do it once, so hopefully you can do it again. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.